Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Hello, midday fans of Suits LA. Howdy ho ho. Hooty hee ha ha. Heedy hee hoo hoo. Hee hee hoo ha ha. Heedy hee hoo hoo. Ha 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 hoo hoo. Heedy hee hoo hoo. Heedy hee hoo hoo.
This is a new song for us.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Look where I got real crafty and decided just to make the tab.
I was glad you started to make the tabs and the notes because I have confused myself when I'm taking them. I was like, thank God.
Yeah. These aren't the notes that I would want, but they're the notes that we have.
And they're the notes that I want. It's what an honor to have you take the notes on this. Thank you for taking the lead on that.
We're so excited to have you back. We had Dr. Witt in last week.
Who did a fabulous job.
Did a great job. Thank you, Dr. Witt.
Paging Dr. Witt.
Paging Dr. Witt.
I think she has some great takes.
Mm-hmm.
Also, she has a brain that works in a really, functional way.
Unlike ours.
So, listening to her, I was like,
that's how a real brain works.
That's a real brain thought there.
It's a doctor brain.
And it made me wonder, too, people who listen to the podcast, if they... Oh, that's the dog. But if people who are listening to the podcast, if sometimes they're just like, what are they even... you and I are like, oh, yeah, and
that
this
makes
is
sense.
this. Yeah. And then people are
when we
listening
step back, they're probably like, we listen, because, it's kind of like in comedy, where people laugh for two reasons. They laugh because they completely see themselves in you, and they, totally get it, the memes that we send each other literally all day, every day. We laugh because we're like, that's us. And then they laugh because they're in such awe and shock that they're like, no fucking way.
Yeah, no way someone thinks that way.
And I think it's the latter with us.
Yeah.
And Whitney was able to bring some, okay, now we have some sense and sensibility in this podcast.
And now it's gone, because I'm back, baby.
You're back. Welcome back to the States. You're now stateside.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Very good.
Grazie.
Yeah, that's oui. Mm-hmm.
Oui, oui.
Oui, oui.
S'il vous plaît.
Maggie just got back from a 10-day trip to Paris.
Paris and Sicily.
And it looked incredible. I've heard about it. It looks great.
It's beautiful.
Sounds great.
Yeah,
can't wait to see Paris one day.
No one thought I was French or Sicilian.
And you practiced.
I practiced so hard on Duolingo using our Duolingo code.
And I haven't learned anything for my trip.
You will not need to. Let me tell you that.
Great.
You just walk in, you say bonjour, and then everyone says hello. Hello, can I help you, ma'am?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I'm like, oh.
You know.
Game
recognizes game. You don't think I look more Parisian than you? I have no idea. I don't even know what that looks like. If I was
people
to wear...
in Paris all look the same. But you know what? They don't wear as much makeup.
Uh-oh. Ooh, well.
Maybe that's how they knew, because I just looked so fresh-faced. They're no way.
What about lipstick? Because you always wear lipstick.
Yeah, I guess, where would you want to wear?
I don't want to know. I don't want them to really know. I want them to be like, I'm so surprised. What a little treat for me that you're not from...
You're not France?
Yeah.
French?
I'm going to just walk in and be like this.
Bonsoir. Bonne nuit.
All I hear is bon bon.
Bon 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 bon.
Bon bon. All right, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
That was an impromptu.
I was like, oh, dang.
But we should clap. 1, 2, 3. Should we do our script?
We should.
I think we have a little script.
We do. We have a little script. We have a little...
Yeah.
It's down.
It's somewhere.
There it is.
Okay, here we go.
Hello and welcome to Only Suits fans. I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda. And we're sisters
in law.
We're interrupting our recaps of the original Suits to cover this incredible gift that is Suits LA.
Today we are recapping Season 1, Episode 9,
Bat Signal.
Bat Signal. Which we watched this week. This is a rare midday recording for us of Suits LA, because normally we do it right away.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear from you guys. If you prefer us to pop into your feed randomly on a Tuesday, let us know.
I think that's great. It keeps people on their toes.
They're like, when is it coming?
Whoa, I just got a notification.
Yeah.
Suits LA's live.
Same thing with the OG Suits that I just forgot to submit, and you got it on Friday last week.
A season.
It's been a season.
It's hard when one person from the podcast is out of the country and also moving and also all the things.
Yeah. And The other one is
the real estate agent on the move.
Yeah, and also deciding amongst everything else that she needs to clean out her entire house and just redo it.
Yeah.
So,
it's just a busy time.
it's a busy time.
But we are, you know what makes it go by even faster?
This.
Suits.
Yeah.
I love it.
This is the second to last episode because season finale is this Sunday.
I feel like I have gotten to enjoy it more and more.
Oh, me too.
I'm in.
I'm
now.
in.
I'm in.
Whiskey? Hey. Be cool. All right. Let's hear it.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I have written a brief, even though Dr. Whitney wrote a brief last week.
Oh, yeah, you have to write the brief.
Yeah, I wrote the brief.
Because that's your...
That'd be 2 weeks off for me.
Yeah, and that's not
not
fair
fair.
after a vacation.
No.
Yeah.
I needed to get
Also,
to
I'm
it.
glad you wrote it because I didn't know I was supposed to.
Okay. What a difference Harvey Specter makes. While I've been enjoying the last few episodes of Suits LA, the return of Harvey as a major plot maker is just chef's kiss. And while we don't know what his son's name is, we do know that Batman and Robin and Kevin have some pretty great Pellegrini plans up their sleeves. Almost as great as the tricks we can only imagine the Ricks have on film from their FA days. But does Stewart have enough tricks up his sleeve to get his bad guy client out of some extra bad trouble? This season is certainly about to get lit up.
Mm-hmm.
Because is not Louis Litt going to be in the season finale then?
It's going to have to be.
He's going to have to be.
It's going to have to be. All right, we'll start with a little bit of the BC before the credits. We have our favorite villain, Daniel Hardman, and he is on the stand. And he looks real dumb because he just essentially testified against his own client, and it made them guilty of racketeering.
Yeah, Pellegrini, guilty of racketeering, right?
Yes.
It was a great little trick because they were, Ted goes and he shows them the books of a hypothetical company.
Mm-hmm.
And Daniel Hardman's like, well, I haven't been practicing law, but this is clearly someone moving money around and being a racketeer.
Do you know what racketeering is?
You know what I know about racketeering?
What?
That sketch that Lauren
Lauren
Davis
Davis
wrote about.
But no one knows what racketeering is. I was wondering if you ever knew that sketch.
I think
one
you
of the
shared
best-
it with me when we were like at the club.
It was
you were
one
like,
of the
"This
best sketches I've ever read.
Yes, so good.
She is a brilliant comedic mind. She also is a co-host of Bravo Breakdowns.
Bravo
So,
breakdowns.
if you'd like to hear Lauren and Michelle, we highly recommend them. But it's one of the best sketches. And in fact, when I was typing this, I almost texted her the other night and be like, I still think about
Racketeering.
your sketch if no one knows what racketeering is. So we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah. What is it? We don't know.
What is it? Yeah.
Then they find out that in the same courtroom that Pellegrini is guilty on all charges.
Mm-hmm.
So yay, they won. He's going to go away for life, probably, except for Pellegrini gives his statement. And his statement is all about his rough childhood and how, you know, Ted Black could never understand. He watched his own father get shot in the head and, like, this is a horrible, like, what else could he have been except for a criminal?
Right.
And then Pellegrini's attorney has a little bomb they're going to drop.
Says he has a witness that says that he could testify that Ted Black broke the law to enter evidence against Pellegrini. And in walks my boyfriend, Harvey Specter. And he's got that look, and I wrote it here, it's like he looks over at Ted, and it's like, it feels like he would be saying, my hands are tied, Mike. Like,
Right.
I
have to do
I
this.
can't, because here's the thing. Harvey is a lot of things, but he's not going to lie on the stand.
No, he's
and
never going to
perjure
perjure
himself.
himself.
And so, like, that look was so familiar, and it just felt like a nice, warm Spectre hug, you know?
It
Like
just
a little
feels so
snuggie.
good.
Like a Spectre School of Law sweatshirt.
Yes.
And you can order it at onlysuitsfans.com.
Yeah, that was great. And then we hear our favorite song. A greenback boogie.
And I want to know, it was like very Suitsy feeling with them, like showing all of them. Like they've really got the intro. They're leaning into the fact that this is a franchise. They also have these like color images of them coming back and forth in these silhouettes. I love it. I'm in. I'm glad that they're differentiating yet still honoring
Yes, it
the
makes
original
sense.
Holy Grail.
I agree.
Yeah.
Very CSI.
Yeah.
Which is great because some of the later CSIs were even better.
Yeah.
So I'm sticking with it. Yeah. Okay, so after the credits, we have these different storylines. The first of which is Harvey and Ted and Pellegrini. And Kevin?
Kevin?
Yeah.
Harvey and Ted are at Ted's apartment. Ted is hungover, and Harvey is being just so cool. He's not hungover. And Harvey says, hey, winners don't greet the day in sweatpants. To which I would say, Harvey, I disagree. This is the first time I've ever disagreed with you.
The first time in all of Suits seasons.
That I disagree with Harvey because I feel like I'm a winner, and I feel like you're a winner. And I absolutely know that we greet the day in sweatpants.
I wake up always in sweatpants.
A lot. Mm-hmm.
But Harvey also wears sweatpants. He technically, he doesn't sleep in a suit.
No, but he just is always so put together. Also, Ted has a very nice apartment.
Yes, a very nice LA apartment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very
nice. Is it an apartment or is it a house?
I don't know. We'll find out more. And then he has that Eddie hallucination. Right?
In the middle of this conversation with Harvey.
And like he's like, yeah, you're right, Eddie. And then Ted's like, and then Harvey's like, I'm right about what? He's like, oh. And, you know.
Yeah, Ted is literally talking in these hallucinations out loud when other people are in the room.
Yeah.
So they decide, Ted and Harvey, that they're going to have to do some bad things to get Pellegrini.
Yeah. The quote that they had from OG Suits is sometimes good guys have to do bad things to make the bad guys pay, which is from Mississippi Burning. So they're going to pull
the same thing. This is like Ted and Harvey are going to have to be just like Mike and Harvey, and they're going to have to do the same scheme.
Yeah. Batman and Robin, Cagney and Lacey.
Amanda and Maggie.
Amanda and Maggie, yeah.
So we are then in the courtroom in New York, and Harvey is on the stand, and he's being asked, this is a flashback. This is what Harvey was walking into with that, like, my hands are tied, Mike face.
Right.
And he is asked if he is friends with Ted Black. And Harvey tells the truth on the stand. Like, yeah, I know him because they played baseball together.
Yeah.
And this means that basically the attorney for Pellegrini proves that Harvey provided the money or provided the financial documentation that they tricked Harvey into talking about that convicted Pellegrini on racketeering. And the judge is like, well, this changes everything because now I have to drop the racketeering charge, and I was going to give you 25 years to life, or I was going to give you life without parole. But now, after hearing your test, or after hearing you speak about your horrible childhood, and now knowing that Ted Black did something illegal or on the border, he's only going to get 25 years, and he's going to be eligible for parole at 15.
Yeah. Dang.
Done.
Do you remember what you were doing 15 years ago?
15 years ago, I was teaching in Dallas. Yeah. You were opening Dallas Comedy House.
I just opened it. We've been open for a year. So I'm trying to think of, like, this is how I associate time. I think I've told you. Like, when I hear something's going to be in 3 hours, I'm like, oh, I can't wait that long. I'm like, well, what was I doing 3 hours ago? Does that feel like 3 hours ago?
Yeah.
Or, like, 2 weeks or 4 years. Like, that's how I associate time a lot. It's weird.
Yeah. No, it's like gives you a sense, a measuring stick.
I need a measuring stick. A litmus test, if you will.
Orientation, if you will.
A watch, if you will. We are... Then we're back to present day. Harvey and Ted go to greet Pellegrini, and he is leaving prison. So they're there to, like, capture him. It's very, like, Ocean's 11 kind of thing. Like, we're going to catch you on the way out.
They love those outside the prison shots.
They do. And they're here to tell Pellegrini that things have changed, and his people aren't as loyal as they used to be. So they're, like, plotting this idea.
They're just planting some seeds.
They're like, hey, Pellegrini, you might want to go have a nice, cool Pellegrino.
Yeah. Because 15 years is a long time to not be in charge.
Yeah. People forget.
And also people make their own plans, you know? Yeah. So here we are. Ted and Harvey are there to visit Kevin, present day, and they're trying to get Pellegrini put back in jail. And Kevin, who is back in his private investigator office, wants to make sure that Ted was ready to do this. He's like, you know, he's going to come after you guys, but Ted is ready to make this move. So Ted is going to have to basically give Santora immunity for this work. And we know Santora is the person who actually killed his brother Eddie. Yeah. Which is like, dang, what a rock and a hard place to be.
Yeah. Harvey looks real cute in this scene, and I just put that I miss him.
He's so cute.
He's so great in this episode.
He just has, like, it is his mouth, right? It's his mouth.
It's his mouth.
His mouth is just like,
it tells a story.
It tells a story. It always looks like it's on the verge of a little smirk.
It tells a story. I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Ted goes to see Santora and says if he admits that Pellegrini ordered Eddie's killing, then he will have immunity. And Kevin is, at this point, taking pics of them being very chummy. And Ted's like, Pellegrini's not going to like this when he sees these photos. Because Kevin's like over there sneak attacking with a old camera.
A little old thing we like to call a camera.
Yeah.
So we are now with Ted and Harvey, and they're back at the same bar that they were at drinking with Eddie the last time they were there, and that's when Eddie like had to get up and go get apple juice because he hated the scotch, and he left them alone to have a conversation, which was all Harvey tricking people. So they get these 2 texts. Harvey gets a text from someone that says, "My boy," and it's like, "Daddy, when are you going to be home?" Which I was like, I mean, I have not finished Suits, but I didn't know that he had a son.
I can't confirm or deny.
I mean, his son's old enough to have a cell phone.
Yeah, but like lots of kids have cell phones when they're young.
That's true. He could have just one of those ones that just text dad.
Yeah.
And then Ted gets a text that's like, "It's time. Go outside." And it's from Kevin.
Pellegrini pulls up, and Kevin isn't there.
Which I was like, oh no, they have Pellegrini, or Pellegrini has Kevin trapped in the car.
Right.
Torturing him, making him send text messages.
Right. So Pellegrini's like, get in the car, and he threatens to kill Ted. And Ted says the FBI is waiting outside that car, and if you go ahead and put a bullet in my head, then at least it'll make it easier for them. Like
to put you behind bars.
So go ahead and do it. And Kevin was waiting right around the corner the entire time.
Also getting pictures. Because they're just going to use these photos as like, you don't know what they're talking about, but you know that someone's going to cut a deal.
Timeline.
And Harvey was still there because he was worried about this whole plan blowing up. But they make some kind of plan, and it's like Harvey has gotten the immunity.
So he says.
So Santori can get immunity. For killing Eddie. It's like, we got it all in the bag. This is all working out correctly. Santora, not Santori.
Right. So Santora's on the streets, and Harvey tells him he's giving immunity to the person who caves first. One of you is flipping, and one of you is dying, is what he says.
Yeah, this is that's a lot.
And then Santora is walking towards his big old SUV, and then it blows up.
Like a big blow up.
And I wrote, it had to be Pellegrini.
It had to be. That's what you think.
Santora has to go to the hospital. He is not dead, but he does suffer some injuries.
Yeah. But you know what? It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Then we have a flashback. Okay, so this guy, John, and I don't know who he is. Is he it was like Ted's old boss. So he kind of like Cameron Mike Brady Dennis, I think.
Yeah. Like he's in charge of the prosecutors.
Of the prosecutors? Okay, so he's the like head prosecutor.
Yeah.
Federal prosecutor. Okay.
I think he's even above where
Cameron Mike Brady
Dennis was. Because his office looks fancier than Cameron Mike Brady Dennis.
Also, they could have gotten a bigger budget. You never know.
That's true, because this is after Harvey had already left.
Yeah, and yeah.
John is worried about the office, and they need to believe that the Justice Department is about justice. So he's like, I can't save your career because of the stunt that Ted pulled about kind of blending the lines and getting... Because Ted's like, I still got him. He's still getting put away.
Yeah, and also, like, John knows that he blew up the car.
Oh, yeah, so this isn't a flashback. This is present day.
It isn't?
No, wait, I remember this part too, because I thought it was also a flashback because the lighting was green, but it was actually present day.
It's just dark.
It was
and
dark
green lights.
And it looked icky, but this was actually present day, so John's like, what are you doing back here? Right? What are you doing back here? Why did you blow up the car? What are we doing?
Yeah. So it's Kevin is the one who put the explosives in Santora's car.
Yeah, Kevin.
We love Kevin.
Kevin just does all the...
Yeah.
All the
Dr. Witt's favorite character.
Yeah, he's great. I love him.
Yeah.
So then they're supposed to take Santora to Cahill to get his immunity because Santora's ready to flip. But actually, oopsies, Harvey forgot to mention that he couldn't actually get immunity. He just kind of made that up so that...
Because Santora's not under Cahill's jurisdiction.
Right.
To which I said, bummer, I wanted to see Cahill. When he said that, I was like, oh, fuck yeah, we're going to get to see Cahill too. And I fucking love Sean Cahill.
Okay, Sean Cahill, the actor who plays Sean Cahill, is a feature in a movie that's coming out where he's a rodeo guy who has to come out of retirement to win a big prize to save his family.
Sounds like a new version of 8 Seconds. Did you ever watch that?
No, but that sounds probably... Just knowing 8 Seconds, it sounds just like it.
Sean Cahill's going to be on the big screen?
Yeah.
Yes!
I know. Well, he is in Sonic. Sonic, the original, with he plays a naval officer, or like some officer.
Does he?
He's great.
Okay, well, I watched Sonic 3 with your kids this week.
He's not in Sonic 3.
There was no negotiating.
No, you can't negotiate Sonic 3. When it's time, it's time.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you should watch that movie.
For sure. Do a little episode on it. They're supposed to take Santora to Kate. Oh wait, we've already said that.
Ted goes to see John,
Yeah.
the district attorney, again, and he apologizes.
Yeah, he apologizes. Santora has an affidavit saying that Pellegrini is responsible for another murder in exchange for immunity. And Ted says, "You were right to let me go, and I did my job, but I paid for it more than anyone." And John's like, "Yeah, I know." Ted got them to admit that Santora Pellegrini was responsible for Eddie's death.
So
and
they
he means
got-
you paid for it because your brother was killed.
Right. Yes. Yeah, it's like Ted paid for it, but actually Eddie kind of paid the ultimate price here.
Yeah, he did. He died.
Yeah, he literally gave his life for Ted to win this case,
Mhm.
I guess. So Ted then goes to talk to Santora about the truth
Mhm.
that he actually set the car up. It was not Pellegrini, and like so basically he's like, and you've been tricked,
Mhm.
right? And Santora's like, that's fine with me because guess what? Killing your brother, even though I knew it was the wrong guy, I still loved it. I loved watching him die. What a sick fuck. Right? He's like in the hospital bed and he's just like telling Ted that he loved watching his brother Eddie get killed.
Yeah. And then Ted says, "I'm going to send some of Pellegrini's people to Santora, to you, in witness protection, because
I found out where
I
you're
know
going to
where
be.
we're going to be." And I wrote, Ted is a bad motherfucker, the way he did that. Because one, he composed himself
Uh-huh.
when he was talking about Eddie, and two, he told a little lie, and I'm okay with it. He
You
scared
know,
the fuck out of that guy.
That's like way scarier when someone gets quiet when they're mad.
That's how I am. When
It's
I'm
like-
the most mad,
You're just like, it's way scarier.
my maddest is when I'm very, it's almost like I don't speak.
Or like when you're just like, I'm so cool about this. Like, it's like you're not even tight. You're just like concise.
But the fumes are swirling in my brain and my lips. He's a bad motherfucker.
He's such a bad motherfucker.
Yeah,
You go,
good job.
Ted.
You go.
Get him. Get him, Ted. Get him. Yeah. So then Ted tells Harvey what he did and how he lied about telling Santora that he knew where he was going to be. But he loves this because now Santora is going to always be wondering, always looking over his
He's gonna have his
shoulder.
head on a swivel.
He's got to be, he will never be able to relax.
No.
And that is the greatest gift
Mm-hmm.
that Ted could ever give himself.
What a nice gift to give Santora.
What a nice gift to give yourself.
So good.
And they're like sitting at this diner, and then Harvey gets a text, and Ted's like, oh, hey. Oh, well, first we learn Harvey's brother has passed away. They're
Marcus.
like standing there. Marcus has died. And you know, the actor who played Marcus actually died.
Did he really?
That's who the episode is.
I was wondering. I hadn't looked it up.
Mhm. So this episode is dedicated to
Billy Miller.
Billy Miller, who played Marcus
Okay.
in the original Suits. So once again, Suits LA is, I think, doing a really nice job
Of honoring people.
of honoring people.
Mm-hmm.
But so we find out that Marcus has passed away, and he's like, Ted, does it ever get easier?
Mhm.
I know it's a different situation. And Ted's like, you know, you not really.
Mhm.
But you just kind of have to move on. But then Harvey has to go because he gets another text from his son, and Ted's like, you know, what's your son's name? I know you have a son.
Yeah.
What is your son's name? Why will Harvey not tell him his son's
I
name?
don't know, 'cause he's private.
Yeah, but this is like one of your closest friends.
I know.
He pretends his name's Ted.
Yeah, he's like, no, it's not. Never mind. They have a really
It's
fun,
Kevin.
They have a really fun like banter, you know, between each other.
What do you think Harvey's son's name is? I'm assuming it's with Donna.
Oh, I don't know.
Something Spector. Spencer Spector. Paul Spector. Paulson.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's a Donna.
I mean, it has to be with Donna.
I don't know.
It's not with Paula. But either way, Paul would work.
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Paul. Harvey's really drawn to women with Paul in their name.
Yeah, that's
Surname or first name.
That's fair. Ted and Kevin, they're trying to get, it's Ted, he's in Kevin's office, and he's trying to get Kevin to come back to LA. He's like, just be a contractor, you don't have to work for us full time. He wants him out there, like, he needs him there, you know?
And Kevin's like, no. He goes, that's good because I wasn't actually offering you that.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun, like,
Here's what I was thinking about this too. I was thinking about it today. They have like so much back and forth and like ball busting. And is that just like men? Like men kind of ball bust, huh?
do we ball bust?
I don't feel like we ball bust.
No, we just, all of our texts are like, thank you, lots of
I know.
exclamation
Thank
points.
you. XOXO.
Okay, see you there, can't wait, I love sandwiches,
I love it.
hungry.
Yay, yum. I was just thinking, I was like, I feel like that would get exhausting
Uh-huh.
if all of my friendships were like, I have to jab you.
Huh.
Don't you think that would get exhausting?
Yeah, but maybe it just keeps you smart. Keeps you on your
Maybe.
toes.
I guess I've seen like reels that are like, oh, friendships where they like jab at each other or like playfully poke are like, I don't know, smarter people or something. I was like, I just feel like I would get
Really worn.
so I would get worn out. I'd be like, I've already busted your balls on this.
Yeah, no more ball busting.
No more. I popped them.
I think we call this ball busters.
Ball busters.
Ball busters.
Ball
Paging ball busters.
Paging Dr. Ball Busters.
All right.
We're really upping the intellectual value.
Last whole scene, here's a flashback out at the baseball field. Harvey and Ted are at a game. Ted is still mad at Harvey for telling the truth on the stand. And then he's like, well, I'll step out of the game. He's like, no, dude, we need you. And then they make fun of Harvey's hair, which, rude. Harvey's hair
because it's way more gelled.
It always looks good, though.
It does look good. It's that 2010 hair gel. A little spiky.
Love it.
Speaking of hair, we got a couple of characters here.
Oh, Stuart.
Known for their hair.
You know what? I'm still disappointed that the prediction of Stuart losing his beard hasn't come true yet. But there's still time. Season finale.
Yeah.
So we have Stuart and David Bowie, who is his bad guy client, who's out there intimidating people.
So we start with Stuart and Rick. There is another whistleblower that is now dead. And Stuart thinks that David Bowie murdered her because he told David the name, and then like a few hours later, she's dead. Yeah. So the ADA, it took me a while to figure that out. I was like, that's the Assistant District Attorney.
Not the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Yeah. Is there to see Stuart, and he's going to pretend today like it's any other day. He's like, tell him I'll be out there in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
MBD.
Because Rick's like, what are you going to do? He's like, just pretend like it's any other day.
Yeah. My hair always looks like this.
So Stuart then is late to the meeting, like an hour late to the meeting with the Assistant District Attorney, who he is friendly with. Yeah. But it doesn't matter if you're friendly with someone if you think your client's a murderer. And Stuart presents a subpoena for the second whistleblower. And
Well, a good subpoena.
Yeah, another subpoena. And the ADA is like, well, you can't question this other whistleblower because she is dead, and you know that, Stuart. That's why you're an hour late to this meeting, so you could make this fake subpoena. And Stuart just acts like, what? I had no idea.
He's like, you're questioning my integrity as a lawyer. And I'm like, no, dude, you're fucking lying.
You are lying.
He should question you.
Right, but he's like, I didn't even know it was a woman. But he must have. Right?
Yeah, he knew. Because he gave the name.
Yeah.
David Bowie is waiting in the office. When Stuart walks in, Stuart interrogates him. He's like, where were you? What were you doing? And he was like, I was eating steak in this episode. And I said, there's a lot of people eating steak in this episode. It feels like there's a lot of steak.
It's delicious.
Yeah. He says he was at home eating steak, but he really wasn't. He was out committing a different crime, and he did not kill the whistleblower.
He could not have possibly killed her because he's like, I didn't know it was a woman.
Yeah.
I intimidate a lot of people. He's like, I intimidate so many people, but I was...
Can you imagine that just being like, look, I don't know who I intimidated. I intimidated so many people.
I walk in a room, people are intimidated. Does that mean I killed them all? No.
Which, there's a lot of things about intimidation where it's like, I think most people aren't trying to intimidate people.
No.
People receive the intimidation.
It's being intimidated says more about you than it does about the intimidator.
Right. It's like, I'm intimidated by them. They didn't like walk and being like, here I come intimidating. Here I come intimidating. Here I come intimidating.
Except for David Bowie is actually intimidating people. He's like threatening their lives.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, he's the asterisk here.
He is actually intimidating people. It's not.
Yes.
I'm talking like, oh, I'm intimidated by that person because they're so smart, funny, talented, beautiful.
Right. All right.
That's not David.
Were you talking about us?
Yeah. I just wanted people to know that we're not intimidated.
We don't mean to be intimidated.
We don't mean to be. It's just like who we are.
We can't help. Stuart says that Bowie was breaking into a producer's house, and he needs to get that footage. So he's telling this to Erica.
To Rick.
Oh, to Rick. Because,
to that Rick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he needs Rick to go get this from Erica, because he needs to call in a favor.
Because it's Erica's client that David Bowie was breaking into. How convenient.
How convenient that it's like, oh, we know what a favor is here.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious that the thing that's going to keep David Bowie off of a murder charge is that he was breaking and entering into someone's home.
Yes.
Incredible. Right. So Erica brings this footage to Stuart on a USB drive. Mm-hmm. She's like, here it is. All I need from you is that thing that you took from me. And we don't know what that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know.
We don't know.
What do you think that thing is? Deposition.
I think it's maybe a client.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
But he has to go home and fetch it.
Yeah, maybe there's a client locked up in a closet.
From when she was an associate, she had a client locked up in a tiny
What
little
if
jar.
What if it's like an electric can opener and not a real can opener? Which, honestly, when you didn't have a can opener at your house, it was so Suits. Like, I wanted to keep texting you, but I realized that you were probably on a plane or in an airport. Because I texted you, I was at your house. I was like, where's your can opener while you're in Europe?
Plus, I have it with me because I carry it with me all the time.
Just
Just
like,
because
I
I
might
have
have
a
to
big
run it
case.
out. And I'm like, I need to get her a can opener.
You do. No, I literally, I was opening, I think I did throw it out because I was making enchiladas and I was opening green chilies. And I was like, this is barely opening this.
Yeah.
I was like, I need a new can opener.
You might get one on Friday.
Can opener.
Okay.
I think that Erica has like a trophy or an award from like some sort of like badminton tournament that the firm did, and then
The old firm badminton
tricked her and took it. Maybe it's like, oh, like they played a poker game and Stuart tricked her because she was a young associate. That's what I think. I think it's some sort of like trophy.
Okay.
You know, literal
little trophy
or figurative.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Stuart and Bowie are together. Fisher has turned over the footage, and David is pissed at Stuart because he doesn't want to defend him. And David Bowie says, that Stuart gets murderers off all the time, and Stuart says he doesn't mind doing that, but he does when he thinks he's the reason that this person did something. Like, he feels responsible for this whistleblower getting killed, so it's very different.
Yeah, it's like blood on his hands.
Yeah.
It's not just a run-of-the-mill person gets murdered and he's defending the person. Yeah. It's like, I possibly
was the one. Yeah. David then gives him this list of people that he's worked with and he's like, hey, you can go check my references. Like, these people.
He's like, check my references. I intimidate so many people, but I will not cross that line and kill anyone.
Because all of these people have asked for murder, and I have said no.
Yes.
Yeah. So he wants Stuart to understand he would never, like, actually take another life. Yeah. Turns out that video was a sex tape. That footage.
Yeah.
It was a sex tape. So Erica and Rick are in Erica's office. And then he was like, I want to know what happened to our sex tape. Because this is all about a sex tape. And it's like, they have really kind of jumped the shark on this.
They're like, they're no longer making pho in a food truck.
No, they're for sure going to smooch.
They're like so close in her office with the glass. This is what I don't understand. I feel like I am like, if I was in the office with all the glass around and my ex hookup who used to work there comes in, I'm not trying to be like groin touching with them.
They were groin touching.
They were groin
touching.
They were groin touching. Like, right?
Literally touching groins.
It's like they were like a magnet.
And their groins were growing.
Their groins were moaning.
Yes.
Moaning groins.
Groaning.
But I wouldn't do that. I also wouldn't like yell about a case in the lobby or outside of the office, which they do all the time.
They do weird stuff.
They do.
Okay.
Anyways.
Do those last two things,
Yeah. Okay, so the sex tape is, she has a copy, maybe she destroyed it, maybe he has the sex tape copy, but he doesn't, it's just in his mind, but they can redo it, and they can have a sequel, and they don't need to, like, recast, you know?
Oh my god. So much.
So then we see Isaac, the assistant district attorney, and he's there to give the courtesy to Stuart to let him know that they're going to arrest David Bowie. Mm-hmm. And Stuart's like, no, you shouldn't, because you're going to make a fool out of yourself, because I have evidence his alibi is rock solid. Mm-hmm. Like, he did not commit this murder. Mm-hmm. And you're going to look like a fool. And the ADA, Isaac, is like, well, as I said, this is a courtesy because we actually arrested him 10 minutes ago. Mm-hmm. So, good luck.
I love it when they're like, we just did this 10 minutes ago. This is already done.
Yeah, it's not really a courtesy if it's already happened.
No. And I think about that a lot whenever I'm like, oh, I should have bought a ticket for the train 10 minutes ago.
Yeah,
because it's about to take off.
Yeah. But you know what I did?
Did you bring back some tickets, leftover tickets?
I bought 2 invisible tickets to Prediction Town. Would you like one?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Choo. Oh gosh, that was a crazy one. Midday. We haven't been on a midday train.
Yeah, I know. That's the bullet train.
Yeah.
Straight for lunch commuters.
Yeah. Okay, some predictions. I think the Ricks are going to Rick each other, for sure.
For sure, they're about to get Ricky in the Rick.
Lewis Litt's going to return for the season finale.
Thank God.
Kevin is going to move to LA.
Yes.
Stuart is going to have a hair crisis in the next episode and try something different.
Please. If he does not have a hair crisis, I'm going to actually be very disappointed.
Yes.
And it needs to be the start of season 2, episode 1, hair crisis for Stuart.
Yes. And Suits LA will get picked up for a second season.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Okay, I agreed with all of your predictions.
Okay.
I read them and thought, no notes.
Okay.
But I did want to add, I think when we see Stuart at trial for this David Bowie trial, I think he is going to be so good that we're going to be like, wow, who is this Harvey Specter guy in a full beard?
Mm-hmm.
And then he is going to take off his beard and wig and reveal that it is Harvey Specter.
Wow. Okay.
And then for season 2, it will just be Harvey Specter.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I think when Ted goes back to LA, he is going to make his move on Amanda. Because we didn't really see her this episode.
Okay.
But I think it's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lewis is going to come in, obviously. I think he's going to come in. The tie-in is going to be like some sort of financial issue with the first person that Amanda takes on as a client for Ted's friend.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like there's going to be some sort of, it's like a criminal case, but it's not necessarily murder. It's like some sort of money crime.
Okay. I love it. These are great.
Because I was like, how's Lewis going to get there?
I don't know.
Ted Black did not go to Harvard?
We don't know.
We don't know where he went.
We haven't seen the vertical diploma.
Yeah.
Go Harvard, by the way.
Go Harvard.
Yeah.
Yeah, go Harvard.
Yeah.
Are you proud of your alma mater?
Mm-hmm. I am proud. Because I don't always say that that's an alma mater. But
now you
because
can.
I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, I'm very proud of them.
You know what I'm also proud of? Us doing 9 of the 10 episodes. We got one more.
One more.
Season finale. It's going to get picked up.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But it'll be nice to have a little
manifest.
break from Suits LA, and then we'll
caught
come
up
back
on
to
it.
it.
Yeah.
Get
It'll
all
be
caught
really
up. It'll be perfect timing.
Thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out at onlysuitsfans.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't know how to start that review, you could say, listening to Suits LA recaps was the best part of my day.
It is.
It is the best part.
Isn't it?
It's
And it's the best part of this day.
This day,
This
recording
day,
in the
midday.
middle of the day. Hello, YouTube.
Midday. All right, we're going to go back to our midday days.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mwah. I'm coming.
Okay, there we go.
This
This is all we need a producer. Whiskey.